Smurfy greetings, everyone. It is I, Hellgear, and it's time for the Smurfs Village survey. So here's how this works. The questions that I ask and answer live are the questions that I will place now for all of you. I take the survey for 3 reasons. Number 3, so that other Smurfs villagers can try this survey out for themselves. And let me know if you do in the comment section below. The number 1 is because the Smurfs Village development team is always asking for feedback to make the game better. So we answer this honestly without being a grouchy Smurf. And the number 2 reason is to share this survey with the Smurfs and Smurfs Village communities. And to those of you who are on the Smurfs Village forum and wish to share this survey on the forum, please do so. But make sure you copy pasta. I don't think they're fond of video posts on the forum. First question, how did you hear about Smurfs Village and what made you decide to play it? I first heard about it when Munchie's mom, Lieutenant Laughing Coffin, was playing it. I was watching her play it on her phone. She was dealing with the Purple Smurfs event. At the time, I didn't think too much of it, but as time went on and I was playing some other Smurf games, the Smurfs Village community members that I have in my community are like, hey, give Smurfs Village a shot. You might just like it. And I took the advice and I've been playing it like that ever since. Next question. What device or operating system are you playing on? I am playing on my tablet, which runs on Android. I know some people like to play on their cell phones. I play on my tablet because I need the bigger screen and more space. Feels better on tablet anyway. And I was talking about this earlier. Here's the next question. Other Smurfs games that I've played. Before playing Smurfs Village, I played Smurfs Epic Run, Smurfs Bubble Story, Smurf Racer, and the Just Dance Smurfs edition, as well as the other Smurfs games on the Smurfs website. Next question. What is your current level? I am level 48. Yes, I know it's low. Next question. How long have you been playing Smurfs Village, and what keeps you playing? Let me see. I've been playing for almost 2 years. And what keeps me playing is the fact that, 1, really good community. You know, the community keeps me playing this, and for a simulation game which it is, it's rather laid back. You know, it has its downsides, but it's a simple enough game to play in light of its downsides, which I'll probably talk about later. Next question. Do you have all of the villages? And if not, which ones do you have? At the time I'm taking this survey, there are only 5 villages, and I have all 5. Next question. Which village is your most and least favorite, and why? I don't have a most favorite village, but my least favorite village is the Mountain Village. And I think I'm going to wait a little bit later on, because you'll probably ask about the Mountain Village anyway. Oh, well, here we go. Next question. We're getting into the villages now. What do you like to do the most and least in the main village? The thing I like to do the most is Minor Smurfs game. I do that the most. And the second thing I do the most is Tracker Smurfs scavenger hunt. The thing that I do the least in the main village is the Animal Sanctuary by Dr. Smurf. Next question. What is the biggest problem to you in the main village? Not enough space. There is never enough space. There just isn't. Next question. Ooh. What advice would you give to a new or young player trying to level up in the main village? Tracker Smurf's Cauldron. His scavenger hunt is one of the best ways to level up, especially early on. That was one of the ways I shot up a lot of levels. And to those of you who don't know, when you get his cauldron up, every Monday to Wednesday he does a scavenger hunt where you do various things. Some of these things involve you collecting experience. And when you do something that gives you experience, you get extra experience. And as you complete pages on the scavenger hunt, the experience is a multiplier. And at the end of the event on Thursday, you can collect all the bonus experience you've added, and it gets you more experience. Easy way to get up levels early and to grind that extra needed experience in your 100 game, from what I've been told. Next question. Where was I again? Biggest problem. What improvements would you make to the main village, if any? Give me more space. I need more space to put everything. And with updates coming out about bi-weekly, it's not really easy to keep up with everything. And storage is limited, so more ways to store things is a good way to improve this as well. Next question. Alright, it's the same deal, only it's Island Village now. Okay, so that'll save some time. If you don't have the Island Village, they're saying skip to question 28. The thing I like to do the most on the Island Village are... Actually, there are two things. One, it's the diving game from Handy Smurfs Hut. That's a good way to stack up money and chips. And the message in the bottle quests. I still have to finish all of that because you create the rain totem. Thing I like to do the least on the island is grow crops. And growing crops is also one of the biggest problems. That is the biggest problem to me on the island. The reason why it's the biggest problem is 80% of the crops that you grow on the island take forever. When you have a lot of crops that have essentially a day's time to grow, you don't want to stay there forever playing. Tomatoes take 8 hours, eggplant takes 16 hours, melons take a day, literally a day. And it really sucks when you have that message in the bottle that says, harvest 52 crops of honeydew. And you cannot get 52 crops of honeydew in one day. Yeah, that's not fun. New players who get to the island and want to level up, my advice to you is to get a couple of things. One, get your raft hut going. That's going to help you out a lot when it comes to your quests. Two, get the diving hut up. And it's the difference between the diving hut and Handy Smurfs game, which gives you, or Handy Smurfs Hut, which gives you the diving game. The diving hut is one of your biggest ways to stack up on resources. And resources are very precious, especially when it comes to building wonders, which they'll probably talk about wonders in this survey. And the Handy Smurfs game to get the diving hut. Again, good way to stack up on chips, being the coins, and experience. Improvements to the island. Crops that don't take forever, please. Please. That, again, 80% of the crops, and I'm not even going to go into the palm crops, but 80% of the crops in Smurfs Village take forever to grow. And it'd be nice to not have to wait almost a whole day just to get some crops grown on the island. Alrighty then. We're up to question 17 and... Oh, wait. Not 17. Where are we? 16. Okay. Now we're talking about the Smurf planet. Again, if you don't have that one, skip the question 28. What do I like to do the most on the Smurf planet? I guess the thing I like to do the most on the Smurf planet is digging the craters. Mainly because you have to do that. That is your primary source of stardust. Least thing that I like to do in craters is clear out space for Planet Smurf expansion, which you need stardust to do. Biggest problem Actually, there are two. One of the biggest problems is we need ways to get more Stardust. And the community has mentioned that there need to be more ways to get more Stardust. It is the most sought after commodity in the entire game, but it takes almost forever just to stack this stuff up, especially for wonders. You know, there need to be more ways to get Stardust. And from what I've been told, there aren't enough mini games on Planet Swoof. So it'd be nice to get some more mini games too, which is one of the ways you can improve on the Swoof planet. And here's the thing. Why is Swoofette not on the Swoof planet? I don't get that. You know, you have planet, the Swoof planet, you have all these Swoofs, you have Chief Swoof, but there's no Swoofette. It would be nice to actually have Swoofette's hut on the Swoof planet. I'm still trying to figure out why Swoofette is not on the space, is not in the Spacey Village. I don't get that. Advice to new players who want to level up. You're going to be doing a lot of your leveling up from quests and growing crops. And crops take a while to grow there as well. Even though the Swoof planet has some of the weirdest crops. It has the weirdest crops. Cotton candy, jelly beans, bubbles, cheese. It's a weird crops. The diet of a Swoof. Also, get down and dirty in the craters. You're going to be doing that the most in your entire time for Swoof's Village. Alrighty then. Question number 20. Now we're getting into the mountain. There's only one thing I like to do on the mountain, and that's tap on my row of sheep. I have a row of sheep on my mountain village. They just nice vertical row, and I like to tap on them to get the experience. That is the only thing I like to do on that village. Frankly, I loathe the mountain village. It is the village in my game that has the least amount of Smurfs, and I try to ignore coming to the mountain at all costs. You know, the mountain is way too demanding for players. Not just money-wise, but having to build back-to-back-to-back wonders burns through a lot of your money, and building all these wonders is going to burn through a lot of your resources. At one time I had $30,000, or well, not dollars, but 30,000 coins, and having to go through quests where I had to build back-to-back-to-back wonders, I went through that 30 racks like that. Plus, the village has the mountain is the village that has the most expensive price value on huts. You know, 3 racks for a hut is just not cool. It's not cool. Advice to new players: try to make the mountain village fun. I have a bad time here. Leveling up, I wouldn't be able to tell you. I really wouldn't. You know, I haven't figured out how to level up quite well on the mountain myself. Between growing crops and digging up gems for Grandpa, you're going to be doing those a lot. You know. Improvements, simple. No more wonders for the mountain village. There are enough wonders on the mountain village. We don't need any more wonders for the mountain village. Also, could you please stop making the mountain village so demanding on players? You know, at least cut down the price on the huts. 3,000 for one hut is just brutal. That's brutal. You know, at least reduce the price of the huts by 30%. Again, that you'll have a lot of money and it'll go like a snap. Alrighty then. Question 24. We're talking about the Grove. Again, you don't have the Grove, skip to question 28. The Grove is kind of like a blank slate. You know, there's not really much to do in the Grove as of yet, even with the most recent update. But what I like to do on the Grove is plant crops. That's actually one of the main places where I actually like to plant crops, which is weird because that's the only village that doesn't have food. It doesn't have actual food. And I made a discussion about the crops that you grow in the Grove, because all the crops that you grow in the Grove are flowers. Mind you, many of those flowers are edible to human standpoint, which is probably what the Grove Smurfs eat, are flowers. But that's the one place I like to grow flowers or grow crops. The thing I like to do the least is stage up plants. And in order to stage up plants, you're going to need two things. The first thing you're going to need are seeds. And seeds don't take too long to grow. You'll actually get seeds doing daily connection, and sometimes you'll get seeds from harvesting crops, and even for rewards for clearing quests. But to stage up plants from those seeds, you need stardust. And like I said on the Smurf planet, stardust is a hot commodity right now that the supply just does not meet the demand. Ways to level up: grow a lot of crops. You grow a lot of crops. You know, that is really nice. And on the subject of crops, with the Grove update, you guys, the development team, but I mean you guys, you brought out a shop that gives you 2 new types of crops that grow everywhere except the Smurf planet. Why couldn't that have been free? Why couldn't that have been like a free thing? You have to make that hut an exclusive offer to get chives, and I think there's one other one, which again, those are edible plants, but that should have been free to that should have been free. And that should have been a free update for the Grove. You know, that I still don't understand why that was an exclusive offer. You know, that I don't get it. So another thing and this is a big problem at the Grove, you know, there's just not enough stuff to do there. I recently created, I built the foundation to the tree hut wonder, but after that was it for the quests. The only thing I have left to do is stage up plants for Smurf Willow. So other than that, there's really like not much left to do. And adding to the fact that a lot of the stuff that was in the Grove had the farewell sale, so you took away a lot of that stuff left. And I'm still trying to wonder why the Growler's tree was part of the farewell sale, even though you did clear up that that's not going away since it's relatively new. I only have one mini game. I recently put the bunny gallop in the Grove, which was one of the things that was going to be removed from the game. I thought I'd put it up there because it's my only game that I have in the Grove. So it would be nice to get some more games, some more mini games in the Grove, you know. And it's going to be sad because everyone who didn't get the bunny gallop, which I think was like the only mini game in the Grove, they're not going to be able to play it now. And I hope that after it's been removed, that I'll still be able to get the rest of the rewards from it. I know you guys said that if you have the bunny gallop game before it was removed from the wipe after the 25th of April in 2019, that you'll still be able to play it. So, more mini games for the Grove, more quests to do in the Grove, more crops. You know, crops that are edible. Edible crops. Not stuff that you have to get from exclusive offers like the chives and I think it was rosemary. I think, yeah, rosemary and chives. Again, that should have been free. That should have been a free update. So hopefully the next Smurf that comes to the Grove is more crops to grow on the free. Alrighty then. Yes, I didn't give my advice to players who just reached the Grove. It's simple. Don't misjudge your seeds. You're going to need seeds to not only upstage plants, but not vertical expansion, but horizontal expansion. You're going to need seeds to clear the horizontal expansion. So stack up on your seeds. Don't waste them foolishly. Alrighty, question 28. Players have talked about adding another village to Smurfs Village. Is this a good or bad idea, and why? Here's the thing. Players do want another village. I say wait until the new Smurfs cartoon, because as some of you may know, the Smurfs Village takes a lot of their references from the original Smurfs cartoon. They also take references from the movies and, with the Grove update that came recently, the graphic novels. So I say wait until the new cartoon before we add some more village stuff. But on that note, from what I've heard in the community, they do want another village, and specifically they want an underwater village that you can access from the island. And this is a terrible idea. An underwater village should not exist in Smurfs Village. Not only can feathers not breathe underwater for everyone who has the exclusive offers, but other than seaweed, what do you expect to grow in an underwater village? Don't get me wrong, seaweed is a nice vegetable, but a diet of seaweed alone means you're going to be more than normally regular, if you catch my drift. Next question. Is your favorite Smurf in Smurfs Village? My favorite Smurf, male and female, are in the village. Lily is in the Grove, and Pirate Smurf's on the island, man. But if it isn't, and they're asking this, if not, where would you place your favorite Smurf? Alrighty, next question. Should Smurfs from other Smurfs games be added to Smurfs Village? Of course they should. If so, which one Smurf would you add? Wow. One of the things I've done in the community is show off Smurfs from other games, most notably Smurfs Epic Run. I even showed off how Pirate Smurf looks in Smurfs Epic Run, and he looks a lot better in that one than he does in Village. I hope they use the Smurfs Epic Run look for Pirate Smurf in the new cartoon. But if I was to take one Smurf from Smurfs Epic Run, I have talked about Centurion Smurf, and a Centurion is one of the types of Roman warriors, and since we have the Colosseum on the mountain, that would be the place I would put him. Maybe even have him give a special mini game if his hut is placed next to the mountain. Next question. If you could add 3 existing Smurfs to Smurfs Village that aren't already in the game, who would you add? I'm going to wait on that answer because there's a lot. I don't have the time to narrow it down. Next question. Have you made any in-app purchases? No, I have not. The question is a two-parter, and the two-parter is if you have made an in-app purchase, what was the most recent? The next question is to those of us who answered no. And they were wondering why you haven't made any in-app purchases. The in-app purchases that I've seen, some that have been really cool. For one, I don't have a credit card. So yeah. And many young players are kids and they can't make in-app purchases because, again, Mommy and daddy won't give them their credit card for that. Some of the things that I've actually wanted to, just cave in and buy have either costed too much or are not worth their price. It would have been nice to get the Growler's tree, but I'm not paying $30 for that. I'm not paying $30 for that. I'm not even paying $25 for that. Even if it does give you 75,000 experience points in a day, it's just not worth it. Fireman Smurfs Fire Station is an exclusive offer. I'd like that, but it costs too much. A lot of the exclusive offers just cost too much. And the ones that don't cost too much really aren't that great. Or you don't really want them in your village, like the tie-dye Smurf hang glider. I'm not paying $25 for that. I took a picture and posted it on Instagram. It was like, I'm not paying that much money for that thing. Okay, now we're getting into wonders. Next question. Have you completed any wonders? And if so, what was the most recent? The community has said that the Papa Smurf wooden statue in the main village does not count as a quote-unquote real wonder. The most recent real wonder that I actually have is the aquarium on the Smurf planet. That is the only wonder I've actually finished, thank goodness. Next question. What is the biggest problem to you about wonders? I'll say this without being a grouchy Smurf or a jerk Smurf. My biggest problem with the wonders, and this is something the development team needs to change, is that wonders are mandatory. And what I mean by that is, doesn't matter which village, you will come across that quest where you have to build the wonder. And the problem is, some of these wonders you may not want to build. The ice sculptures, I didn't even want to build the ice sculpture for Papa Smurf on the mountain, but I did it to progress the quest line. And then later on I had to get the Smurfette one, which I didn't want to grab. No. So they're already doing the May update, but I say it like this as a request to the development team. From the June update of 2019 onward, can you please, and I do mean this with the sincerity of the entire being of my heart, can you please stop making wonders mandatory in the game? Building a wonder with every update should be a choice for players, not something that is a mandatory thing to progress quest storyline. Especially if you don't have the resources to finish all the currently existing wonders that you have. And that actually answers how we can improve wonders. No more wonders. If you don't want to make any more wonders, you want to keep making wonders, don't make them mandatory. Wonders should be an optional thing to players. Not something that they have to do, because if you don't build this wonder, you won't progress in the village's quest storyline. Next question. Are you using the Facebook features of Smurfs Village? The only feature I'm using is the cloud save. The problem with that is, and there's two features. There's the cloud save, and then you can visit other people's villages to give them stuff or to help you grow flowers. The thing is, even if your friends have the updated version, visiting their village, they'll give you an error that says you can't access your friend's village because they don't have the updated version of the game. Even when they have the updated version of the game. So one good way to improve on Facebook features is do that. Yeah. Make it so that you can access your friend's village even if they aren't currently with the main update or current update of the game. Final question. Rate Smurfs Village on 1 to 10. I give it an 8. Simply because it has its issues, but it's a nice laid-back game that anyone can get into. And cartoon and graphic novel and movie references. But that's all I have to say on this survey. Thank you for hearing me out. If you enjoyed, let me know in the comment section below, and I'll see you next time.